And welcome back, everyone, to another round of Arbitration Studios as we continue our journey across the Mass Effect trilogy. We're in Mass Effect 2, we're back on Omega, and we have Mordin Solus by our side, along with Zaid Masani. And there's one more person that we gotta go and collect, and that is Batman. I mean, Archangel.
Yes, the Archangel. Indeed.
Because Batman doesn't kill people if he can avoid it, or if he's having a really bad day, he will.
He's just...
People often forget that Batman would carry a 45 in the early days.
He's just sleeping.
It was I forget what the turning point was. It was with the D-list villain, who... But old school comics, there was an actual in-character turning point where he killed.
Old school comic books, just like old school video games, are quite amusing to go back and look at nowadays after we have seen things like Mass Effect and things of that nature. To go back and see the old Final Fantasy game, the original ones, not the more modern ones.
The one when Square thought they were going out of business.
Yeah, exactly. And before that, so to go back and see those, and then look at this and go, wow. And then to look even 10 years past this game, when this came out, and see the development and what people have done and things of that nature, is just pretty amazing. Now,
we're talking, by the way, about our attitudes and whether we're going Paragon or Renegade. And this is one of the Paragon moments where it's I'm Commander Shepard. I can be an absolute monster when I need to be, but I have principles, and I don't want to watch a 17-year-old kid who bought a gun at the local Bass Pro Shop thinking he can be a badass get himself killed.
And that's... firearms take training in order to use appropriately. And to run around with firearms when you do not have that training... generally speaking, is going to end badly for everybody involved.
Well, and thinking he can get badass points by going up against someone who has had extensive training.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's one of those... Commander Shepard, regardless of their... This is one of those things where it's why is there even a Paragon interrupt? Shepard should always do that, because regardless of if you're playing Space Jesus or Space Bastard, you should, no matter what, you should look at someone who is about to get in over their head and cost them their life, and never, needless deaths should never be a thing.
No, absolutely.
So that's one of those, I will always take it even if I am going hard Renegade.
Same. Now you skipped the boring part. You skipped the boring part and seem to have jumped a little bit here, right to the part where we're going to the fun area.
It was one of those things where it's the more questions I ask of the Blue Suns folks, the more that they'll figure out that something's up, I think. So it's sort of I'm just here to be a surface level badass. I mean, look at me. You see this N7 on my collar, for fuck's sake?
Indeed. That one always, because you walk around with the N7, and that it's kind of a dead giveaway, really.
I'm Space Canadian Navy SEAL here, Indeed. And you're going to ask me questions about my capacity?
Indeed, and you carry around a bunch of canned food, for those of you that know your history. But anyways, here we have Batarian again.
They have such punchable faces.
Another one that you can't shoot, which very, very offends me.
I do like the fact that universally, no one defends there are no Mass Effect fans who defend the Batarians ever.
Well, us saying that, we're now going to get comments on people defending the Batarians, but screw them. The Batarians can take an asteroid to the face for all I care.
Oh, they do.
So here we are. There is this section of the adventure right here. There is some as a as a DM, as a person that runs the games, role-playing games, I can say that this is a well thought out section, actually,
Mm-hmm.
of where you can set yourself up for further on down the line. Or
Well,
you can just race right to it. It's entirely up to you.
and there are advantages and disadvantages to both, but in role playing you got to be able to you got to have the structure in the story that will allow the racing through, but be more rich with the
You got to put it in there, even if even if people are going to ignore it. You got to put it in there for the people that won't. You know,
and this is where I kind of like give people give the DM what they want.
mm-hmm. uh, I I feel like all of the Solarians are voiced primarily, other than Morden, are voiced by the exact same person, but I'm probably wrong.
Someone inhaling a pint of helium.
Yeah, but the this is a this is one of those moments where you can you don't have to fight, but you can win by just talking, and by using your skills.
Well, I mean, you still have to fight in this mission.
Oh no, yeah, no, the mission you still do, but I mean this first part with the prep and whatnot. If you are actually doing that and you're actually taking advantage of all of those little things that go along with that. Now, I will say that one of the things I didn't like about the switch over was that your skills were not necessarily as useful as they used to be.
What they did was that they took the role-playing centric skills and they assumed that because Commander Shepard was already trained to be an elite operative in the field, that they were present in some fashion or another. One of the most frustrating things for me was that, here's someone who went through N7 school, and yet your decryption skill wasn't high enough to jimmy someone's locker.
Exactly. I mean that I get.
It's about consistency in your character presentation.
I can understand that. I just, I'm an old school gamer. Here we have a lovely little opportunity to do bad things, to do very bad things.
And we did them.
And of course we did the bad things because doing bad things is what we do.
Yeah, it's just a shame that we can't really do anything about the blood pack here. Speaking of, let's just take a little time out to talk about these three mercenary groups. We had just talked to the Eclipse and we're about to talk to the blood pack. Now, the way I like to think about it is that the Eclipse are the Sentinel class. None of them are the straight soldier, engineer, adept. They're all the hybrid classes.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
But yeah, the Eclipse are the very techie, psychic-y types, and are kind of like the kind of people that you would hire when you want showy armies.
For sure. Yep.
The Blood Pack are unabashedly vanguard, unabashedly thugs.
Well, and one cannot go wrong with a good thug.
But
thuggery is an ancient and honorable profession.
Well, if you're talking about the Indian Farsinger culture, yes. But I mean, just everything wrong about the Krogan is in this character right here. It's how he runs this gang.
It's true.
Rex would headbutt him for living.
He's just such a letdown, really. I love Krogan, as everybody knows. I love Krogan.
They have the same the same appeal as Klingons.
And Rex has my heart, and it hurts to see somebody like this who's fallen so far from the lofty heights that Rex elevated himself to. But yeah, it's it's weird with the Krogan. It's kind of an interesting take on the Krogan and the history and everything, and how For the most part, you fight them,
Mm-hmm.
really, in the game. For the most part, you fight them.
Well, it's to draw the analog with Star Trek, real quick, at least culturally for the Krogan. And by the way, to get to the Blue Suns real quick, because they have they're the soldier techie mix, and they're sort of, I hate to say it, the most professional looking, or at least that's
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
what I get.
no. They are. I think what you're dealing with is three mercenary groups, and one of the groups it could probably be considered paramilitary, but the other ones are most definitely just muscle of a type. They're not. You have some organizations in the Eclipse, but Blood Pack is just Blood Pack is its name. I mean, it is a gang. It is a gang of thugs. It is a gang of, hey, I need muscle.
And here's why I brought Zaid with me.
Indeed.
Tarek, what's eating your ass?
uh,
I found out, by the way, that that Mass Effect 3 was the voice actor for Zaid. It was his last role before he died a few months after 3 went gold.
Yeah,
so that's tragic, but man, that shows he kind of put everything into this character too.
I would have liked to get a little more on Zaid. Like I think that he could have been. I like the character. I do. Mm-hmm. I really like the character, and I think he would have been a perfect character to actually move over into 3. Actually, come with you into 3. Kind of that scoundrel. I like a good scoundrel.
Well, the thing is that with the exception of like Tally and I would argue Kasumi, everyone on the Mass Effect 2 companion list is a quote renegade close quote of some type. I mean, yeah, with Kasumi, yes, she's a thief, but she's only in it for the money. She goes out of her way under most operations to avoid hurting people.
She's only robbing the rich and the powerful anyways, which really makes sense because they're the ones that have the money.
Yes.
So, we're having a bit of a tete-a-tete with the Blue Suns, all to get to one part, which is a very important part. And if you're watching this and you play through and you missed this, don't anymore. Do yourself a favor and don't. Do yourself a huge favor and don't. We have a situation where we have 2 women talking. And they're not talking about a man.
That is the most bullshit popular culture test ever.
I think that is I think that it's wonderful to see women in armor and shooting at each other. That's honestly, I think that's a much better test.
Yeah.
Is are they wearing armor and are they shooting at each other? I think that is a very important thing that we need more of in our culture.
Yeah.
Is women wearing armor and shooting each other.
That whole Bechdel rating irks me. Because it mostly because it's reductive.
I mean it
I do, and keep in mind too that the whole thing was a joke when it first started, and then other people took it seriously.
Well, I take very seriously women wearing armor and shooting at each other.
Yeah,
that I take.
I just wish that women's armor in this game didn't have boob plate. That it was just it was square, not defined.
I think at this point, I honestly think that they get better about this.
Mm-hmm.
That BioWare especially gets better about this. Because I think it's Dragon Age 3. By the time Dragon Age 3 comes around, they are much better at armor and making the armor be, hey, this is armor. This is not a bustier.
Yeah.
This is not supposedly. And by the way, folks, this is the point I was talking about. First off, he's a Batarian, so anything bad
I talked earlier about a mandatory Paragon interrupt in saving that kid's life, and yes. even say, pay attention to this thing that we're dropping.
Yeah. This is your mandatory
Renegade
abrupt. If you're not doing this, you're really not helping yourself out.
Now again, I mentioned earlier how I was very surface level with the recruiters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surface level here because this shows that I have an interest in living.
Yes.
I have an interest in collecting.
Yes.
On the money. I would also have the balls to go to the Blue Suns leadership that's left afterwards and say, I survived.
Pay me.
Where's Archangel? He took a missile to the face.
And no, I would bring our Archangel with me. and be like, give me the money. Is this a robbery? Yeah.
Because
it's a robbery.
Why give her the money? Because she works hard for the money.
Indeed. There's a lot of fisting for that money. And of course, folks, this is a Batarian. This is a Batarian, so anything bad you do to him is acceptable in the eyes of God.
Small thing, and I'm actually going to support Batarians here. Why is it that they never wear helmets that keep their upper eyes to a point where they are where they are able to see out?
Yeah, no.
I mean that's
a little oversight. That's a little oversight. You're welcome.
In a future DLC, we'll see this a lot about Batarians wearing helmets that only have 2 eye slits on them in a Batarian colony.
Yeah.
So it's like, why?
Yeah.
But
well, here go some cannon fodder, and you can tell they're cannon fodder because they have
no names,
and a porn stash. And not even a good porn stash.
They stand about as much chance as a young black man in a horror movie.
It's true.
And then there's this guy who's working way too hard. He should take a nap. Go take a nap. I've been tased once. It's not fun. I didn't shit my pants.
I think that would have been funnier if he had shit his pants.
Oh, he probably shit his pants.
That would be. I would like that.
I kind of
he's Batarian.
I kind of like the idea that Batarians are like horses and that they have no actual bowel control. It just when it's time to poop, they poop.
Well, I think this is now things are getting fun.
Yep. Player control released. We have gameplay now.
And now you're going to shoot them in the back.
Oh.
Why are you going to shoot them in the back? Well, why not? Oh gosh. Oh.
Well, no, they for some reason now suspect me immediately, even though I have done precisely nothing up until killing that guy.
Well, yeah, but that guy.
But just because, holy shit, you made it this far? You weren't supposed to make it this far. Well, neither were you. What are you doing unlocking that door, buddy?
Hey. I did not order a pizza.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Garrus the Carrion. Oh, you were supposed to go thwack.
Boop the snoop.
Okay, I was way too early on that. I should have started. Yeah. Should we?
It's okay. No, it's okay. We're good. We can keep going. Hey, look, we can recover from this. We're fine.
Yeah.
Speaking of recovering, here we have
Garrus motherfucking Vicarion. The greatest companion. The protege.
Indeed. I honestly think wonderfully human. It's obviously a lot of these alien races are very human in their appearance or their actions or their attitudes. But I think that barring the war that they went through, I think that the Turians and the humans are the two that have the most in common. The two that would get along the best. They both like a good fight.
We certainly humanity certainly learned some things from the Turians, and the whole fucking galaxy learned a lot from humanity.
Well,
hi, we have treaties limiting dreadnoughts. You're gonna have to dismantle a few of those. Tell you what, are they still a dreadnought if we remove the cannon? No. Cool. Let me introduce you to a little concept called the carrier.
Indeed. And I think that humanity and the Turians get along. I've never. Now, here's my thing with the Turians as the characters. I never saw one in the game that was a douchebag. Some of them were jerks. Some of them were
bastards.
Right bastards. But
even a couple of pricks.
But not a single douchebag. As opposed to humans who are
generally
by the bulk douchebags. And of course...
I don't want to say that Turians have a sense of honor. That's not the right way to do it. But there's like this subcultural duty, I guess. Everything a Turian does, an upstanding Turian does, has to somehow serve the greater good, the greater society. And that doesn't necessarily mean serving Palavan and the Turian hierarchy. The people you surround yourself with.
Well, here's the part of the game where whenever I play a character and run through this that can't use sniper rifles right from the get-go, I always regret it. Because this is a hilarious part to use a sniper rifle on.
There's a later part, and it's got to be the last video we do. Like even after the story of Mass Effect 3, but there's a part of this when we do Citadel in Mass Effect 3, where Garrus and you and Garrus have a nice little heartwarming moment.
Well,
with involving a gun.
Well, I love heartwarming moments involving a gun. Here we have a great little tower defense type moment,
and that brings me to a hypothesis I've had for a while. Now, in engineering,
guns make everything sexy.
No, that's not a hypothesis. That falls under proven not a proven theory, but that falls under the actual scientific definition of theory.
Indeed.
Where
Indeed.
We can take this for granted.
Quite.
So in engineering, all machines are either an amalgamation of or made up of 6 basic mechanical principles. You got your screw, your wedge, your inclined plane, your pulley, and I forget what the other 2 are off the top of my head. I've been wondering if all games, to a certain extent, are, again, really just broken down. When you break them down, are just composites of tower defense, platforming, some sort of shooting gallery or marksmanship sort of thing, because not all tower defenses rely on that.
Right. Absolutely.
Some of them are just automated that way. Pathfinding for Pac-Man, although you can argue, but
I get your point. I see what you're getting at. I don't disagree. I think as we have gone along in games and the creation of games and playing games, I think that we have seen a lot of. I think we have seen those simplistic factors be dressed up. And be given a new coat of paint. Speaking of a new coat of paint,
and things get really complicated when you talk about modern games where they can incorporate all of the basic types of gameplay into one.
And speaking of painting, our friend here is about to paint this bridge
in blood,
in gallons and gallons of various kinds of blood. And I say various kinds because obviously
we got Solarians, we got Turians.
You got Turians. Obviously humans is copper based, or not copper based. I'm sorry, iron based. And then you've got the whatever the rest of them use in theirs. And he's going to use all of it to paint a beautiful palette of death.
I only zapped that one guy just to make it a little bit more fair, and I didn't want the Ymir mech to suddenly turn around.
Right.
So it's just like the sooner we can, vapor. we want the Ymir to be to be focusing on the bad guys, but we also don't want him to turn around and become a problem.
Exactly, and right now, I think the most ideal the most ideal way to solve that situation has gone down. The mech killed a whole bunch of bad guys and was destroyed before it attempted to kill
And there's our buddy.
us.
Hey, buddy, you ready to go say hi to your brother?
Ooh.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh dear.
I forgot that like 5 things blew up in his face at once.
Oh gosh.
Oh, hey, yeah, we want to make sure to pick that up.
That's just terrible. And now we have a couple of other parts of this particular run, this particular adventure, as you will, that I often actually have a problem with, believe it or not.
Well, part of what I said about the early game doesn't gear a lot of player classes to deal with the armor body type. That's coming up here soon. And this is where I fortunately have, or will be gearing us up for just that particular contingency, despite it. Because first off, Morden's with me, so he has the fire thing. And we've got a particular heavy weapon we have access to. My son calls it the Tesla coil. It's the game calls it the arc projector, which is a fantastic little thing for crowd control and for dealing with particularly robust baddies.
Now, I also always leave one of my companions.
It's just better.
I just, because I don't want to see Garrus get hurt, because he's my friend.
Even in a situation where if you were one of the rare people who left Garrus behind on the Citadel, which you can do, the only required companions in Mass Effect 1, aside from the 2 humans, are Tali and Liara. Rex and Garrus, you can leave behind.
But why would anybody in their right mind leave behind that beautiful, sexy Rex?
I'm just saying you can, not that you should. So even if you leave Garrus behind, and this is your first encounter after seeing him on the Citadel, and oh hey, remember I was in charge of the investigation into Saren, and that went nowhere. Yeah, I remember, you failed. So even in that circumstance, I would still leave someone behind to safeguard him because he is my objective. I need to recruit him.
Right. This is the room that I usually have the hard time.
Yeah, and we almost flub it here. With the hey, damn it, nope, fist. There we go.
I find one of the mechanisms I found in this game that was really quite cumbersome was the melee attack, which you're not really supposed to be making, I guess, but it's very cumbersome. I think a low kick would have been a little bit better, something instead of that weird elbowy thing that you throw. But anyways,
well, I mean, it's supposed to be hitting them with the butt of your gun, but it doesn't work very well when you don't use a rifle.
Yeah, that's yeah. This right
2/3 of the guns in this game don't have butts.
Exactly.
And I like big butts.
I also like a large butt on my firearm.
And on people. Don't lie, I've seen your Pornhub search history.
Oh, Lord. It's mostly for Krogan love. AI has really, really changed the game. But
well, all of the Resident Evil 8 9-foot-tall vampire mommy milker fantasies can now come true.
Yeah, and I will not accept any judgment in this world where there are people about
See,
my
right
love.
there, couldn't have made that happen without that taser thing. I was cornered People with
Indeed.
flamethrowers, children crying. I swear the IKEA guy ran out of my bathroom screaming.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with that situation.
Look, he didn't just poop in the bathroom, he used poop. Poop was his medium.
I mean, but you know,
What the hell's wrong with me?
you know, I mean, we could go into what was wrong with you, but that would be an entirely other video. Here we have the Blood Pack, who,
Along with Teenage Mutant Ninja Krogan.
yeah,
What are those big canisters on his shoulder? He's not the only Krogan who has them. We encounter him here and there,
yeah,
but
you do. I like to think that they are empty, like they're nothing. They just put them there to look kind of cool. I like how
stay down, bitch.
He got all like, I'm a crow. Oh god, oh god.
He was about to roar like, I'm a badass, and I tased him, so he's just like,
which, by the way, just letting you know, is generally how tasing works.
Again, I've been tased. I know this.
Now
that was the easiest and most difficult $100 I've made in my life.
Now, that being said, there are certain things you can do.
I did not void my bowels, though. That's the important.
Hey! In every situation, not voiding your bowels is the most important thing. There is no situation where not voiding your bowels is not the most important thing.
So,
unless you are in fact going to the bathroom to void your bowels.
Storytelling thing here?
Yes.
I always like to imagine that the reason why I didn't go into these stories is that we don't have time for that shit, that literally the next thing is happening.
Indeed. So now we have the...
Because it always strikes me as weird when it's just like, okay, we're in an intense combat situation. Let's have a 30-minute dialogue about what it means to be Krogan in the modern world. It's like, this is what it means, headbutt.
So, here we have a situation where we're dealing with a gunship. Again, this is not the first time. They like to use gunships in this game.
Actually, I think this is the first time.
It is the first time if you didn't get the DLC. Because you have to face one.
Kasumi's, which is which we'll be handling after we get all of our main. All of our 4 recruits.
Of course. No.
Although I think I actually recruit her after Omega in all the gameplay that I pre-record. But I mean, outside of her DLC, she doesn't really matter.
No.
I mean, we're also going to be shucking her into the vents here eventually. But you know, that sort of she has her task, and then she's never seen from again.
Well, that's because she can turn invisible.
Yeah.
Unlike
other companions, which we just want to shove into a box.
Jacob. Kate Malenko.
I mean, it's not exactly a hot take to say that we don't like Jacob.
It's not. It's, I wish it, it is neither a hot take nor is it in any way, shape, or form controversial, I think.
That's the downside. So the Dragonborn took an arrow to the knee. Guess what? Garrus took a gunship to the face.
Indeed. And it only made him prettier.
I mean, how many dozens of rounds did he take?
He took all the rounds.
And then a rocket.
And then here you are with a carbine that you don't use.
I mean, I can later.
Well, yeah, you can if you choose to.
We do.
It's don't get me wrong. I think that it's a good choice. I generally go with it, but I also on occasion have gone with sniper rifle. But I generally like the classes that can use a sniper rifle to begin with.
Unless if you are not playing an infiltrator or a soldier, you really don't need a sniper rifle.
It's true.
I mean, because what snipers are good for is that high intensity firepower from a position of advantage, and the adept is never in a position of advantage. It's always in there at close range mixing shit up. The Vanguard is entirely built around punching people in the face.
Which is always a wonderful activity, punching people in the face. I always find it to be enjoyable.
I mean,
And boom.
the Sentinel is versatile, but the I can see the shotgun as a suitable weapon for it.
Hmm?
But when you're using a sniper rifle as a Sentinel, you're removing yourself from the ability to use your other
Right.
abilities effectively.
Yeah. Very true.
So you're either danger close with the shotgun or you're at a good range with the rifles. So that's why I selected the rifle. Plus, I mean, the Matic
absolutely.
assault rifle just overwhelms everything.
So, this is another part of the game that still gets me every single time. Is when it's revealed to be Garrus.
And then
I think it's a good reveal. I think it's a wonderful use of that storytelling element.
And they genuinely sell it to you when you first play it as
There's
Garrus might not make it back.
and there is no indication.
And then lo and behold,
Yeah.
Garrus is fine, and even Jacob's like, shouldn't you be in bed?
Of course not. He's a Tyrion.
I'm Garrus fucking Vicarian.
That's right. This is.
I do
mean,
like
if you can't love a Krogan, I suppose a Tyrion is okay.
I do like, by the way, the updates that existed to his uniform with the black ribbing and whatnot, as opposed to just the blue jumpsuit. That was his default. Granted, I'm going to be going to his more silver and crimson thing with the microphone pack, because Garrus, aside from being part of Best Friend Squad, is kind of also like our executive officer when you think about it.
He is. I mean, they try to make Miranda your executive officer, but
She's the assigned executive officer.
Yeah,
Garrus is the master sergeant.
Yeah, but Garrus is really your XO.
And he's off to his duty station, and so are we.
Because really, who's Joker going to listen
to? Jeff, I got a stick up my ass, and I'm going to beat people with it. So, anyhow, that's all for that, though. When we return, we'll talk about a nice little bundle of joy that we're going to recruit.
Deuces!